a lesson there. Mary J. Blige, A Blast from the Past. Beautiful one. This was one of my favorite, well, it still is. It's one of my favorite tracks, Mary J. Blige.
What did she say there? No heartbreak can take away what you're meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember, I mean,
powerful.
This very video, back then, the part where the rain is, hitting and all of that, it just tells you about life, yeah? Sometimes you get, they say when it rains, it pours, and it's pouring on you, but you must, withstand that storm, and the light will definitely show at the end of the tunnel. But to all of you, thank you for making time to join us on the news review segment of the show. Mama, how are you?
Well, I'm okay. I mean, I was just reading a piece this morning that said we should encourage one another with our experiences. So, you can motivate, you can inspire just by sharing your story. Yeah. And I've just been reflecting on it. Otherwise, I think it's a beautiful Tuesday.
We all have a
life
story
again
and,
today.
Well, we'll go through our own stuff. Who knows who will be inspired by that story? And today we'll be telling the story of some Kaya'i and what they go through. And that, I mean, it's heart-wrenching a lot of the time. My only problem, this has gone on for so long. These things, I was just contemplating, because of today's discourse, the number of documentaries and stuff I have seen on this since as far back as decades ago.
And the story is same,
and the story
isn't it?
is the same.
Yeah.
The abuse, it just broke my heart, really.
So a neighbor was sharing an experience yesterday with me. Said he joined Trotro from Seco that was heading towards Nsawam. And he realized he had used all his physical cash to buy fruits, so he didn't have money to even pay the TNT. And he asked the driver if he could give him 20 Ghana cedis, and then he would transfer 20 momo to him. He said he didn't have. Then there was his description, beautiful young lady who offered to pay. So she opens her purse and he sees 15 Ghana cedis, and then he says, but you also have to pay for yours. And she says, oh yeah, all I have is this 15 Ghana cedis, but I want to pay for you. And the man was insisting that, okay, give me 10 cedis, I'll transfer 10 momo. She said no. And he said he was so touched. So this is a man who is fasting. This is a fasting period for him. And he said, I was shocked that they're good people. They're that kind of people today around. So after everything, he said he realized that this girl may have a story. So he decides to talk to her a lot more. And it turns out she had actually lost her job yesterday. She was a contractor, on a certain project, and she had lost her job, so she was looking for a job. And her rent had also expired. So this 15 Ghana cedis was given to her by somebody else, a friend of hers. And there she was, willing to share the only 15 Ghana cedis she had with a total stranger. And I thought, oh, this is such a beautiful story. So yes, there are still very good people out there.
There still are.
May God let you see your angel today, and may somebody else's story touch you today.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm touched.
Oh.
Thanks for sharing.
Well, I have to say thank you to Uncle Raf for sharing the story with me this dawn. And so, well, let's go out there and share our experiences, and we hope that we can inspire others. We're coming to do the newspapers. We've got a number of them in the studio. We'll touch base with myjournline.com as well. That's our online portal. So I've got the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, the National Enquirer, and the Economy Times newspapers.
Got the Daily Graphic, the Finder, the Daily Statesman, the Dispatch, and the Business and Financial Times.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and on the front page, we give you updates of this fire incident. Okay, so this is another one that happened yesterday in Accra. There was one in Kumasi. Fire ravages timber market, displaces 100 people. Details in the paper today. President pledges government support for May 9 victims. Alleged exchange of food for cash. 53 senior high school heads, others in trouble. Investigations to be conducted into food supply in Ashanti region. Remove all illegal speed ramps on highways. Road Minister orders Ghana Highway Authority. If you go to page 3, the police is on manhunt for 2 suspected armed robbers who engaged the police in a shootout at Kwashieman here in Accra on Sunday. The suspect, who suffered gunshot wounds during the shootout, reportedly snatched a Toyota Yaris taxi cab. Registration number is given as GW821520 from its owner at La Paz in Accra. So the Accra Regional Police Command, disclosing details of this, stated that the police were investigating the case. So account of how things happened last Sunday is here. Some of the things that we hear these days is like a movie. It's just like a similar story. This time, this was an Uber, right? And the person had offered a drink to the driver and said he was going to buy food or something like that. Now, after taking the drink, the driver just falls asleep into a very deep sleep.
You made mention of that, I think, some weeks back, and that has become very rampant.
It's like a movie.
Rampant. Someone shared a story as well. The person was talking about the Gempa stretch, the back road, and how to be careful.
Yeah.
Because he was saying these people, and now there are so many ploys they employ.
Yeah.
They come, oh, you see them in the dead of night, a woman with a man, something is happening. If you dare get out,
you can have a pregnant woman.
You're going to face trouble. And this person was shot at. His rear, view mirror was actually, they shot at him while he tried to flee, and that bullet could have hit him.
My concern, though,
they say, Papa now or cannot. Being good has become a bit dangerous. You want to do good, but sometimes you think. So I'll tell you, there's one thing, a habit I've cultivated. Whenever I sit in a car, I'm driving. Do you know the first thing I do? Before my seatbelt, I lock up. Because someone can just come, open up, and then...
Yeah, I know, right? I was just going to say that, the Gimpa stretch, the road behind Gimpa, it's become so notorious, but I wonder if all the reports and all the accounts, all the experiences that people share, particularly on social media, if the police is taking notice of that.
I was just waiting to say if you have a hotspot, what do you do?
I think
you patrol that area and ensure that you are. But people keep reporting. Exactly. It means it's still going on.
Exactly.
At a certain time, it was around, and I don't want to, affect anyone's business, but the Fiesta Royale stretch. That stretch. Okay. People said that, look, you get there in the traffic light, one person engages you. They've likely seen that you have something on the other side or maybe at the rear. While you're doing it, if you've not locked your car, if auto lock is not on, the other person opens on the side and takes your bag, people have lost MacBooks, people have lost all kinds of things over there. So by the time you realize that this one is distracting you, they're done with you.
I know, right? Well, okay, so vehicle rams into drinking spots, killing 2. It's also another story here. This happened in the Asokwa municipality of the Ashanti region. And then the Tema police record 58 robberies, 3 attempted murders. And this is just the first quarter of 2021, 58 robbery cases and 3 attempted murder cases. The robberies involved a car snatching, 1 street robbery, 51 residential robberies, 3 workplace robberies, and 2 highway robberies. These are just the cases that were reported to the police. You can imagine that there will be quite a number of others who would not really believe in the system and say, even if I go cry, nothing will happen. So they will not go forward to report. There's also a 29-year-old trader, Eunice Adumako, who's been arrested by the police for allegedly stealing a 6-month-old baby at Oduma near Ablekuma in Accra. She was reported to have lost her baby after giving birth at Kolibu Teaching Hospital back in December 2020 and failed to inform her 2 boyfriends, one in Sutem in Ashanti and the other at Osino in the Eastern region. So what did she do? In a bid to maintain her relationship and to receive remittances from her boyfriends, she connived with the baby's mother, and she's been sending pictures of the baby to the boyfriends, purporting to be their baby. She said one of the boyfriends, so this is the police giving an account, and saying that one of the boyfriends insisted on seeing the baby, and Eunice planned with the baby's mother to show the baby to her boyfriend, and this is the boyfriend at Osino. So Eunice could not return as planned before the arrival of the baby's real father. The father lodged the complaint at the police that his missing baby was missing. So Eunice was informed about the development. She failed to return home with the baby until a church member convinced her to return the baby. For the rest of the story is on page 3 in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Again, this is like a movie, huh? This is like, one of those movies that I guess before we would say, hey, Kumerwood, like Nigerian movies, they can imagine things, and the things are playing out like in real life. You hear them and you laugh, but they're true stories. Let's check out what's in the center spread of the paper. That's the president's pledging government's commitment to support victims of the disaster of May 9, 2001 at the Accra Sports Stadium. A lot of details on that. Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Shamating, has urged Ghanaian entrepreneurs to take advantage of the country's conducive business environment and invest in sectors which are currently dominated by foreign investors. That story also here. And then the authorities of 53 senior high schools in the Ashanti region are to be investigated by the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service for allegedly exchanging food for cash at their respective schools. So there are quite a number of them. They include headmaster, headmistress, or the assistant domestic bursars, accountant, and or storekeepers, according to a letter from the Ghana Education Service to the Regional Directorate of the service. Lots of schools in the Ashanti region caught up in this. And then on the back page, the Ghana Health Service has implored parents and caregivers that in order to ensure healthy growth of their children, they should not skip or suspend routine child health in interventions amidst the coronavirus disease. And then a week-long international conference on West Africa food security and storage organized by the Economic Community of West African States Commission ended in Accra yesterday. What you missed, if you want to catch up, is all in the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Let's quickly go to the Daily Graphic now. It says COVID-19 protocols missing at KIA. Mama V.
At KIA?
Protocols no. So here's the story. Many of those who frequent the meet and greet section of the Kotoka International Airport do not adhere to the COVID-19 safety protocols. This is in spite of government's directive that people should wear the face masks in public and also observe the protocols of washing hands with soap and running water. Now, apart from the main arrival and departure halls where adherence to the prescribed protocols are being strictly enforced, the rules are not being enforced at the waiting areas. So it's like here, we strictly enforce it, but on the other end, it's not enforced. That can only be a recipe
if you
for disaster.
Had returned from, say, the UK,
exactly,
and I was coming to meet you and pick you up, I will come with no mask. Okay.
So you see what exactly is happening here. So they talk about physical distancing being non-existent at that area. They talk about this fact that when passengers get to the arrival hall, they have their masks on, but remove them as soon as they begin to interact with people or receive phone calls at the meet and greet section. And guess what? The head of the KIA, Mr. Kwakwa, the Ghana Airport Company Limited, I should say, said some of the measures to ensure compliance at the public section included procurement of new seat markers and extension. It doesn't fundamentally address the issue, but he explains that the objective for this team is to monitor and ensure total compliance of all laid down KIA COVID-19 health and safety protocols. But as it stands now, there are many issues. And
so what are they doing? They have a task force.
Yes.
How is that solving the problem? Because the Daily Graphic captured a good number of them without the mask.
The point is that this task force obviously hasn't been tasked enough because this is going on right now. And you would recall on April 29th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration announced that in view of the alarming rate of infections of COVID-19 in some parts of the world, especially in Asia and South America, the Ghana Health Service had advised the general public to either cancel or postpone all essential travels. So that's one interesting bit there. This is an institutional failure that we are pointing out. It captures the story of the AU appointing President Mahama as Somalia envoy. We wish him the best. Hopefully he can bring some closure to that situation. Mama, you know of what's been going on there and how a certain person wants to renew his mandate. And now the bit about ensuring that elections happen as soon as possible. But what do you think about this? On page 7, right to water. Water is life, of course, but some people, in Ghana, we don't need to be told, people don't have potable drinking water. It's even, interestingly, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women has it there in Article 2.2, because in some parts, it's used to discriminate against women, water. And so it's a major issue. I just had to highlight it. An article has been written on that, and I feel it is worthy of your time if you grab a copy of the Daily Graphic newspaper to actually read it. U.S. government declares emergency after cyber attack. And let's go to the middle spread of the paper. There is Vice President calls for sustainable food security in sub-region and the U.S. to support agriculture sector under new initiative. Before we get to the back page where there's another final interesting story, I have good news for all Manchester United fans, because a certain Edinson Cavani, I didn't like him when we played Uruguay and Suarez, caught the ball and all of that, and we lost to them because I think, was it Radamel Falcao or Cavani? But, they made life difficult for the Ghana Black Stars. But I'm happy in this respect because he's been doing an amazing job for, so I've been corrected, it's Diego Forlan who actually scored that goal. But he's been doing amazing stuff for Manchester United. And guess what? He's put pen to paper. We're waiting with bated breath to find out whether he would stay. Boca Juniors had been trying to entice him with a big sum of money for him to wrap up his career there. But he's going to stay.
So where does he play? Like, what's his position? How is he going to contribute?
He's a striker. He's a typical number 9.
Okay. All right.
So that's it with him. Mama, you'd be interesting in this final one. Treatment for umbilical cord. GHS phases out methylated spirit. It's in accordance with WHO guidelines. Apparently, we've been using it for a while. It's not what ought to be used. So now they're going to use chlorhexidine, an antiseptic found to be more effective in preventing umbilical cord infections in newborns. This could actually go a long way to prevent some, avoidable deaths in infant mortality. So very good one there.
Okay, let's do the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, fake national security galamsey boys in courts. Judge, 7 others cited for contempt. We're on to the Daily Guide newspaper. And then the banner headline here, coup plotters stay in jail, Agojo out, with a picture of ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo. And I've said that I'm not comfortable saying coup plotters because it's not, and it's still very much an allegation.
I think that's why they put them in quotation marks, but some people would read it literally. That's the problem. Still.
And then Vice President wants cooperation for ECOWAS states. Lawyer wants jury to visit JB's house. Details of that in page 6. On, I guess, with the issue of the fake national security galamsey boys in court, a bit of that. Some 7 persons, or 11 persons, I beg your pardon, who allegedly paraded themselves as operatives of the national security and were undertaking illegal mining activities, which is galamsey in the eastern region, were yesterday hauled before a Kanishi magistrate court in Accra. The 11 are part of a total of 32 people who have been arrested in connection with the illegal mining activities in the forest reserve at Achim Akenteng in the West Akim municipality. It's just it's unimaginable, that you have a group of people carry themselves confidently as national security operatives.
What's surprising
and
about
undertake?
We've had people carry themselves as doctors, as lawyers. We've reviewed the stories here. We've had people carry themselves as so many things in this country. It is that easy. Sometimes. I get it. And some of these people have been doing this for over a decade and stuff. National
security. Listen, I appreciate
the temerity, it shocks you.
But I appreciate the fact that this case is on court, but I think it should give the national security the opportunity to think about how they operate again. Because you see, we're so used to anybody just coming around and saying national security. You get to Tobu, national security. You get to a checkpoint, national security. And anybody can just design the coat of arms or anything that's representative of Ghana, like something that's like national. All you need to do, national security, and you're gone, national security.
Do you know the problem?
We've tolerated that to this point.
we can't even identify those in certain state institutions. Do you remember part of the problem in Ayawaso West Wogon, where these people in balaclavas and all of that, people couldn't even tell, are these people genuine? Are they not? Which unit are they with? What are they doing here? People should be identifiable. There should be certain identifiers. Unfortunately, we don't have them. Do you know my major worry here? There have been instances in this country where, look, recently a police officer came to my neighbor over some issue and had even wanted to go inside. And later when I came, I told my neighbor, why did you even tolerate this person? Did the person have a warrant? No. And some of the things the person was asking, simply because someone has gone to lodge a complaint and a high-ranking police officer.
Yeah, but you should identify
something that shouldn't
properly
have even been done by an officer of that caliber. You get it? So there are major problems, and someone can come to you and say, a group of people, we are with national security and this and that, and do certain things to you only for you to find out that these people have nothing to do with the national security setup. It is a danger, and we ought to address it. We ought to fill the gap so that people know who is real and who isn't.
We fail to do it to the extent that now they can actually carry out an illegality in the manner that they have done when we have said something has been banned. They actually carry themselves openly. And these are like, what, 23 of them. They're not hiding any longer.
These are the ones we've apprehended. How many more have we not?
I mean, it breaks my heart, and I hope that national security will pay attention to how their officers carry themselves. Sometimes you can't even ask them questions. You can ask them to identify themselves. I mean, it's this whole hidden thing. They will come back and hurt us as a nation. And then, you know, they will put a whole administration to shame because, you know, it's like, oh, don't we have leaders? How can they be parading themselves like this in the open? So this is just an example of a whole bigger issue. I wanted to see if there was a News One pullout in the center spread, but I guess I'll probably have to look for it another time. There's a lot of sports stories on the back page. Who says he won't resign? That's the Juve coach.
Yeah, he says he won't. Piano says he won't resign. Of course, they were hammered by 3-0 recently by
AC Milan. Yeah, yeah. Well,
I don't think he should resign. You see, I feel people should be given opportunities, not opportunities to be wasted anyhow. But he's fresh to this job. Some have said he is not prepared for it. He can't handle the likes of Ronaldo and all of that. But look, I think the old lady is complaining too much. I'm using one of the nicknames of the team. They've won, is it 9 titles?
Yeah, but when you
back to back. Like what?
When you have
at some point there'll be a little bit of a decline.
Ronaldo.
Oh, come on.
You're used to the win.
He isn't God. At some point you have a bit of a decline. He's the top scorer in the Serie A, but he isn't God. And I don't think, I mean, they can keep up at that level for what? 9 titles? Like what? Really? The Finder newspaper. Are you done with the daily?
Yes, sir.
All right. GCB's first quarter profit before tax rises by 46.9% to 181.39 million. Trade Minister commends Ibrahim Mahama for investing over $100 million in Jata cement factory. Mama, I'm all for
Recently, I've been buying cement. You know, when I saw the story,
what I say, 50 Ghana and Hana.
See, I started buying.
Are you getting
at 46?
Discounts.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I wish somebody could give me a cup like that. Who is my MP again? So I started buying from 46. 2 days later, 47. Another 2 days later, it went to 50. Like, I was so shocked. And now it's like 52. This is my own experience. And it's not even been much. Charlie.
We'll see,
Charlie. So when I saw the story, I was like, so how is that going to reflect in the price of cement? That was where my interest was. It's a good thing. But is it going to be less than what we're already buying it on the market?
Right.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, to get a good share in the market, I'm sure some of those mechanisms will be put in place. If you look at what Dangote is doing in his sphere, and even in Ghana, you know, Dangote Cement, what they're trying to do, you would see that we would need, apart from the GASEMs, we would need others to come into the industry and maybe help, you know, lower prices. Because maybe a corner there. Stronger integration of ECOWAS markets crucial to build synergies to achieve food security. That's according to the Vice President, Dr. Baumia. Tolona honors Opon Kroma for service to his country. I'll focus on these two stories, Mumbavi. CID probes 53 schools over alleged corruption in free SHS feeding program. That's on page 5. And it talks about how the Ghana Education Service has directed the management of some senior high schools in the Ashanti region to cooperate with the CID of the Ghana Police Service as it investigates some issues related to the supply of food items. According to the Deputy Director General, Anthony Boateng, the CID has informed GES about the ongoing investigation. So district directors of education are required to release the headmasters or headmistresses or the assistants, domestic bursars, accountants, stockkeepers of the attached list of schools to go to the CID for investigations if required. So that's it. But you know this bit about, sometimes misappropriation of items and all of that, Charlie? This has been going on for decades. I remember back then in school, there were so many things about, those in charge and sometimes how they would sneak certain things out, smuggle certain things out. I don't know, but it appears in every facet of our society, maybe apart from private institutions, some private institutions, there are so many loopholes for people to do stuff. And when there are opportunities, it's said that opportunity makes the thief. When you create loopholes, sometimes even the person who ordinarily isn't a thief might be tempted to become a thief. The other one I wanted to...
And if you are tempted to become a thief, then it means that you have that genes already in your system.
If you don't have character, you fall flat. But sometimes there are people with character. It's not that, there are people who are solid, but at some point the temptation is you can do one touch, but that one touch, But hungry ECOWAS citizens to increase to 27 million by end of 2021. I'll do that very quickly. It's by our Agric Minister, and the population of people who go hungry in the ECOWAS has skyrocketed to 20 million in 2020 and is estimated to reach 27 million by end of 2021. Here's the important bit. In contrast, this is to its increase from 4 million in 2018. 4 million in 2018 to 16 million in 2019. Now we're looking at 20 million in 2020. And by what? We're increasing to 27 million in 2021. Look at that, 4 million to 27 million within this short period. I'm wondering how many people, how people are going to cope across the ECOWAS region, especially young people who are striving for something. Hey.
All right, let me get into, I guess, my last newspaper, the National Enquirer. And this is an issue that we tackled here on our show. It's made it into the National Enquirer newspaper. Derek called Sama, producer, writing the story. 3.4% of Ghanaians believe vaccines are dangerous, according to the University of Southampton
Derek on
research. Exactly. But what the research also said was that 82.8% of Ghanaians say they're willing to take the vaccine when offered the opportunity. So a good breakdown of that. Religious banter, Christian Council clashes with Chief Imam's office. And the paper is advertising, and they're asking you to watch the space. Police prosecutor embezzles some 6,400. Is this pounds or euro?
Well, I think in the story I saw...
Exhibits in his custody. What's this sign again?
That's pounds.
Okay. All right. So 6,400. And we're watching the Space National Enquirer for details of that. They're also recounting 5 major events that have made Akufo-Addo's government unpopular in its second term. All right. That's it for the National Enquirer newspaper.
All right, so I'll just do a headline from the BNFT and wrap up with a story in the Daily Dispatch, and we are done. Local jewelry industry is dying. Players call on government for swift intervention. I highlight the story because I was speaking to one of these jewelers recently, and he says on the back of some of what is happening, even sourcing gold and other things is problematic for them. And this is someone who has been in the industry for decades, so you realize some of the problems in there. But let's look at page 2 of the Daily Dispatch. National Security Minister Albert Kandapa installed Assistant Grand Master. And he has been installed as the Assistant Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of Ghana. Should we say congratulations to him?
I don't know. I mean, he's a national officer, so if it makes him a better national officer, that's what I want to see. I guess that's what I'm interested in. not the private stuff. Yeah. I had some pictures from the Ghana Armed Forces on the Galamsey. You know, they've been on this operation on the river bodies trying to get people to comply to the limitation that we've put on. You can't mine in water bodies at a certain distance. And so they've been carrying out this operation, and they've been, tomorrow, God willing, I'll share the map, you know, the river bodies. And it's incredible when you see some of the shots that they've taken, you know, whilst in the air. And we've seen pictures and videos, but this is actually current. And for a lot of the water bodies, Chalet, like everything is gone. And so they've been trying to, I know this is also a bit controversial in terms of the distraction of the equipment that they see, but some of them, they actually can't even reach them, so they have to shoot from the air to destroy the equipment. Sorry, Ben. So this is typically what is happening. They're actually trying to shoot some of the equipment that they use, and some of them are manufactured in Ghana. So before we were importing all of these equipment, but now they're actually manufacturing it right there. And it's, Charlie, this is gotten out of my... See,
so
yesterday...
That's a shangfang right there.
Yes, yesterday I said that unless, I know my country, Ghana, unless we're keeping the military like they are there, even if we see a little success, we still let them stay. I don't know, but I have a feeling that the moment they leave, the people will come back.
Oh, no, that is the reality.
That's it.
The moment you leave... the people are going to come back. So far, though, I see them shooting water.
No. So if you continue to watch the video, you would see that they're actually hitting their targets. Right. And sometimes there's actually no way to get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just have to do it like this. And kudos to the Ghana military and all of those supporting this engagement. My final bit, though, Mama V, I'm wondering, the UMAT thing, and the process to clear our waters. I think I saw a sample or something recently where a very small water body had been treated. I think it's something we really ought to look at. If we can employ technology to clear our waters, it's something we really ought to be looking at. But kudos to the entire team.
Oh, yeah. So we're showing you more pictures of what the military is up to. And if you don't get upset with the pictures, the river bodies, and how it's been destroyed. Sam George the other day sitting here was saying that, well, I have my own take on that, but he was saying that for people caught in this, they should face the death penalty. Of course, we've not exercised that. It's on our statute books. We've not exercised it. Should upset you. It should upset you as a Ghanaian. Like it's oh gosh. All right, but anyway. I have a friend who celebrated his birthday yesterday. So these are pictures of the distraction. Happy birthday to Evans Kujo Bwedi of Coventry. He's in Coventry in the UK. Evans is a fantastic friend. Like, he has a heart. Is there anything more precious than gold? Like, he has a heart of gold.
Does he drop pounds?
Charlie, he drops everything. He drops pounds, CDs.
Okay.
Evans
I get the love.
Evans will share his card with you. I mean, like, there's no limitation to what he can give.
Oh, that?
He gives. And I'm not just talking about cash. He's an awesome guy. And I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. I missed wishing him yesterday, but it's not too late. So, Evans Kujo Bwedi, you were in Coventry in the UK. I hope that you had a fantastic day yesterday. Everybody needs a friend like Evans in their life. Yeah.
But there's something you're not adding.
Which one is that? From his 2 girlfriends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be me and Caroline.
I see.
Yes.
So it's a club. It's like a, right.
Yeah. He has 2 girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? You can't get over that?
No, I'm just pondering it. You know, give me time to think about this, yeah. We'll pause here for effect.
Yeah, Muftal would bring the effects a lot more. But where are we playing the Champions League finals? Is it still Turkey or there's a Wembley in the mix?
Whether it's going to be Istanbul or wherever, I think Muftal will be able to tell us. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Sports is up next.